This is the IUX Education Podcast, your shortcut to smarter trading and investing.
Where complex markets become simple. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, brought to you by IUX Education. Our mission here is, well, to take complex stuff and make it clear, make it actionable knowledge for you. Today, we're embarking on a pretty fascinating journey, diving into the life of a real legend in trading history, Jesse Livermore. And for you, our listener, we really want to peel back the layers, understand not just what he did, but how he thought, and maybe why his story still resonates so strongly today.
Oh, absolutely. Jesse Livermore, he's a name. Well, if you're serious about trading, you know it. Or you certainly should. People call him the Great Bear of Wall Street, right? The guy who supposedly shorted the 1929 crash and made a fortune while everything else was just collapsing. But, you know, his story isn't just about the huge wins. It's also this really profound cautionary tale. Genius, discipline, but also vulnerabilities. His insights, incredible. But the personal story might teach us even more.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we'll do in this deep dive. We're going to really try and unpack the complex life, the unique strategies of Jesse Livermore. We'll look at what set him apart, what lessons we can pull from his journey, lessons that are just as relevant for you now as they were, well, 100 years ago. It's more than history. It's about understanding the mind of a pioneer. Okay, so let's get into this life story. Jesse Livermore, born 1877, small-town Massachusetts, and right from the start, apparently, this incredible independent streak ran away from home at 14 with just $5. I mean, can you even imagine that kind of drive at that age?
It's pretty wild, isn't it? And where his whole market obsession started is really interesting, too. He got a job, basically, at a stock, quote, board in Boston. His job was literally just writing price changes by hand on a big chalkboard all day long.
Wow, no screens, nothing.
No, just watching every single tick. Manually, hour after hour. Think about that focus. And it was through that really intense, almost like meditative observation, watching the patterns, the reactions, that his deep, almost intuitive grasp of the market began to form. He wasn't just copying numbers, he was learning the market's language, its pulse, you know?
And that intense observation, it wasn't just passive learning, was it? He put it into action pretty quickly. Because here's where it gets really interesting. By 16 years old, he places his first trade, and guess what? Makes a profit. Now, you could say beginner's luck, but probably not, right? Yeah. It sounds like it was that pattern recognition kicking in.
Exactly. Pattern recognition, discipline even then, and a bit of boldness. That combination sort of set the stage for his whole career. He was seeing things others weren't. And if you connect that to his core ideas, Jesse Livermore genuinely believed the market had this distinct rhythm, a pulse, almost like a personality you could figure out if you watched closely enough. He thought you could anticipate its next big move. So his focus, almost entirely on price action, what the market was doing, not what people thought it should do.
Right, not the news or opinions.
Not the news, not the fundamentals in the traditional sense. It was tape reading, interpreting that stream of quotes and trend following. That was his game. Was it moving? Was the move real? That's what mattered.
And one of his big rules, and I think this hits home for anyone listening, the big money is not in the buying and selling, but in the waiting, which doesn't mean doing nothing, right? It means that active, patient observation, waiting for the right moment. It really makes you think, doesn't it, about your own patience level in today's like super fast markets. It feels like you always need to be in a trade. Livermore argued the opposite. Wait for those pivot points he talked about?
Absolutely. Calculated patience. But crucially, paired with cutting your losers. Fast. No hesitation.
That's the hard part.
It is. No emotional attachment allowed. No chasing some rumor you heard. No hoping a bad trade turns good. For him, it had to be clear technical signals. And keeping your head straight, absolute mental clarity. He knew the biggest enemy was often, well, yourself, your own fear and greed. He had to fight that internally.
Okay, let's talk about the moment that really made him a legend.
Yeah.
The 1929 crash. The Great Bear.
Yeah.
While everyone else is panicking, fortunes vanishing, Jesse Livermore had already set himself up. But it's important, like you said earlier. He didn't just wake up one day and bet the farm, right, or somehow cause the crash. That's not quite it.
No, definitely not. That's a common myth.
Yeah.
What he actually did was he saw worrying signs way beforehand. Weakness under the surface, rallies that just fizzled out even when the news sounded good.
So he was reading the tape.
He was reading the tape, and systematically, gradually over weeks, maybe months, as the market showed more and more stress, he started building short positions, betting it would fall. carefully, incrementally. Exactly. He wasn't playing for a lottery ticket win. He was reading the signals, accumulating his shorts as things got closer to the edge, and the result? Staggering. Reports say over $100 million in 1929 money.
Which today would be...
Billions. Billions, while others were wiped out.
Yeah. So naturally, he was celebrated for his foresight by some, envied, and yeah, some people, some media outlets, they did blame him. But realistically...
The crash was bigger than one man.
Oh, way bigger.
Yeah.
It was massive economic issues, speculation, credit problems, panic, a perfect storm. Livermore read the storm coming. He didn't create it. His foresight was the key thing. So, given all that, what really separated Jesse Livermore from the pack? What was his secret sauce?
Well, I think, first off, just radical independent thinking. He absolutely did not follow the crowd. Often he bet against it and won big. He trusted his own homework, his own reading of the tape over whatever was popular opinion. He had that famous quote, right? "There's nothing new in Wall Street. Speculation is as old as the hills." He believed patterns, human psychology, just repeated.
Okay, independent thought. What else?
Second, his risk management was, for the time, incredibly disciplined. Always have a plan, especially for getting out, taking profits, or cutting losses.
That other quote comes to mind. Markets are never wrong, opinions are. Really shows that objectivity, doesn't it?
It really does. He wasn't attached to being right. He was attached to following the market's signals. He'd pyramid into winners, add more only when a trade was working well and had strict stop losses. If a trade hit his stop, he was out. Period. No arguing.
Okay, independent thought, risk management.
And finally, maybe the most critical piece, mastering his own emotions. He knew deep down that fear and greed wreck more traders than anything else. He understood the battle was internal. Which makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? How well do you handle your impulses when money's on the line? Livermore wasn't immune, but he worked hard at it. Sometimes he'd literally leave town, get away from the ticker, just to clear his head and regain control before trading again.
So the method itself wasn't insanely complex, maybe basic principles.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
But that psychological control, that discipline to actually follow the method, that was world class. That allowed him to stand alone, wait patiently, take those losses without flinching.
And this is a big but. Jesse Livermore's story is also this powerful reminder. You've got to manage more than just your money. You have to manage your mindset, your life, your emotional health. And this is where the story gets, well, quite sad, actually.
Yeah, despite all that financial brilliance, the massive fortunes he made and lost and remade, he struggled terribly with depression. And he didn't just lose his fortune once. It happened multiple times. Overconfidence, maybe. Bad bets outside his expertise. Lifestyle. Personal issues. It seems like a mix of things.
A complex mix. Over-leveraging after big wins, personal turmoil, distractions. It all played a part.
And ultimately, despite the market genius, his life ended tragically.
It really underscores a vital point, I think. Market success, however huge, needs to be built on a foundation of emotional resilience, a stable personal life, maybe even a purpose beyond just the P&L.
Right.
It's about building a sustainable life, not just a trading account. He mastered the markets, arguably, but maybe never fully mastered himself. That's the tragedy.
In his legacy, it absolutely lives on. That book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, it's technically fiction, but everyone knows it's basically Livermore's story.
Oh, yeah, a classic, still read by traders everywhere. Timeless stuff in there about market psychology, speculation, the human side of it all. So, pulling it all together, what does the whole saga of Jesse Livermore mean for you listening right now? What are the real takeaways?
Well, I think it boils down to a few core things, principles that are just as solid today. Trust the price action more than opinions. Let the market tell its story. Wait. Be patient for the market to confirm your idea. Don't force it. Cut those losses without emotion. Easier said than done, but crucial. And maybe the biggest one, protect your mental health just as much as you protect your trading capital. Your mindset. That's your number one asset.
Couldn't agree more. Jesse Livermore, a pioneer, definitely, a genius in many ways. And yeah, a complex, powerful reminder that trading is just as much about mastering yourself, your psychology, your discipline, your well-being, as it is about mastering the markets. You can't really succeed at one without the other, not sustainably anyway.
So if this deep dive into Jesse Livermore's life gave you some inspiration or maybe taught you something new, we hope you'll share it. Let someone else discover these lessons too.
Yeah, and for more insights like this, more deep dives, more trading knowledge away from the usual headlines, you can always follow us at IUX Education. We've got learning materials, articles, these discussions, resources for traders at all levels.
Absolutely. Till next time, stay patient, stay disciplined, and stay in the trade.
And this is the IUX Education Podcast, where trading confidence begins.
That's a wrap for today. This episode was brought to you by IUX Trading Platform, your trusted partner for smarter investing.